Hi, this is your girl being paid from QT Events. Number of guests. Once you have a number of guests, then you can set a budget because for every inquiry you make is going to be based on how many people you're willing, how many guests you're expecting. So yes, I would first of all say you need to write down your guest list. For me, I think that's the first thing to consider: your guest list, then your budget. Then what type of wedding? What type of event? Are you doing a civil wedding? Are you doing a religious wedding? Are you doing a traditional wedding? You need to know you need to know what sort of event you're planning to do. That way you're able to know how many segments you're going to divide it into. So say for instance, African wedding, Nigerian wedding to be precise, we have like how many segments? They have the introduction, they have the engagement, then they have the religious wedding. So how many segments is your big day going to be divided into? Because as a Nigerian, I would say in most cases it's always into three. The first one, we're talking about introduction, which is kind of intimate, family and very close friends, like very few. Again, it depends on how big you want this to be. But introduction is always more intimate. So yes, you have your introduction first. Then you have your traditional wedding. We call it engagement, traditional engagement. And that one now is mostly hosted by the bride's family. So again, in as much as yes, it's been hosted by the bride's family, in this day and age now, people try to merge things together. So when you're setting a budget, you're not just setting a budget based on what is coming out from your pocket. It has to be based on the cost of the whole event as a whole, and that way you're able to kind of minimize the spending as to when you have a solid plan, then yes, you're able to manage it. So traditional engagement is mostly hosted. I think it depends on the tribe, but mostly hosted by the bride's family. And with that one now, again, it's expected to be part of the budget. So you have your traditional engagement, comes after the introduction. Then you have your big day. On the big day, normally you have your reception. But then before the reception, you need to decide, are you having a religious ceremony or you're having a civil ceremony, which means, are you going to court? Are you going to registry? Or are you going to church or mosque or, whatever religion that you practice? So after then comes your reception. So again, that's now not even 3 segments anymore. That's kind of into 4. If we have to think about the civil and the religious bit. So that's into 4 aspects. Again, once you have one big budget, it makes a lot of sense. You're able to manage it as to if you're having it in, bits by bits. Oh, the bride's family is doing that, the groom's family is doing that. So that's into 4 segments. And how do you go about that? First of all, your introduction, again, is always, mostly hosted by the bride's family. That's the groom coming to pay homage, coming to pay respect, coming to get to know the bride's family. Then the second one is a traditional engagement. But let's not go deep into that. Let's stick to the planning process. The first one is you need to have a guest list. The second one is you need to set a budget. Not have a budget, you need to set a budget. For you to be able to manage your finances, you need to set a budget. Then you need to decide, are you having a civil ceremony or you're having a religious ceremony? Then from there, once that's decided, say for instance, okay, we're having a civil ceremony. Now you need to go to your local council, try to book a date for your registry. If you're having a religious ceremony, now you need to go to your church or your mosque to book a date for your ceremony. Once those 2 are booked, then you move on to your venue. Again, when you're looking for a venue, it's all again based on the number of guests you're expecting. So you see what I mean? Am I right or am I right when I'm saying the first thing to think about is your guest list? So yes, you book your venue. Once your venue is booked, yes, now you're kind of relaxed, you're kind of chilled. Like, yes, the date is set. Once your date, once all these three aspects are booked, then yes, you know your date is set. Now, talking about vendors, you need to think about your venue stylist. You need to think about your cake. You need to think about your caterer, your DJ. Are you having a live band, or you're having a DJ, or you're having both? You need to think about that. Okay, there's some extras going on now, maybe like your cocktails, your small chops, who's dealing with that, who's dealing with your drinks. If you don't want any hiccup whatsoever, trust me, you want to put all these things into professional hands. That way, once you've made your booking, you don't need to worry about all these things. So yes, your vendors are very, 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 very important. Make sure you get vendors that gets the job done. Make sure you get vendors that just doesn't have pictures for you to see, but you know that they can definitely deliver. You go online, you see what you like, you book them. I always say this, not a lot of people wants to see you succeed with your event. So you need to make sure when people are making references or when people are making referrals, you need to make sure that that person is going to deliver what you want. It's very important. And I'm telling you this from experience. Again, all these things are when you plan way ahead, and I'm talking about 18 months to your big day, is when you should have all these things in place. 18 months to your big day. You have people come to you, oh, I'm getting married in 2020, and you're thinking, oh, that's in 2 years time. But yes, that is someone that wants everything to go smoothly. You need to plan well ahead. You need to plan well ahead. When you plan ahead, trust me, that way you're able to, it gives you time to get to know your vendors. So now with your venue being booked, we're moving on to bridal party. Yeah, bridal party. You need to choose people that can be there for you, people that you know. Because at the end of the day, you can't do these things all by yourself. You need a bridal party that will make your wedding lit. You need to choose people that you know that, yes, when you look behind you, they're there, they're turning up on your behalf. You're making everything fun and not trying to overshadow you. So yes, you need to choose your bridal party. Now, you need to do your save the dates a year before. The reason being that when you plan well ahead, it goes smoothly. It gives your guests enough time to plan the vacation, the holiday, the whatever it is. The plan review, if you're thinking of going for your Ashray B. These are segments that we're still going to go into one by one. At some point as time goes on, I'm going to be having the expertise, the Ashray B experts, the coordinator experts, whatever it is, caterers, people that can enlighten you on exactly how to go about it. This is just going by the book. But when it comes to the practical aspect, I'm going to be bringing on the specialist that would advise you and talk to you about it. For your wedding transportation, if you have the fund, go for it. If you're having a horse and carriage, if you're having a limo, whatever you would like to move you from A to B, you need to book that. If that extra is not available, then you need to let people know, oh, on this date, this is what I need you to do. You need to book your transportation. Don't leave it till last minute. Trust me, it's very, very important. And whoever you're booking, if you're not using a proper company, you need to make sure whoever is going to help you out with that is very efficient and very time conscious. Now, you need to trust your planner for them to be able to do their job or for them to be able to execute it. So by 18 months, you have your guest list created, you have your budget set, you have your venues booked, you have decided if you're having a religious or civil wedding, and you need to have your church or your mosque or your registry booked. Once you have all this in place, then you need to move on to booking your venue. Once all this is done, then yes, we are good to go. Moving on to the big ones, vendors. You need to book your vendors. How do you book your vendors? Again, completely up to you. People do this package whereby all you have to do is just give them the money and they make your day happen. Or you can decide you want to handpick your own vendors yourself. You might have been familiar with few of them. You might have one in mind where you've been to an event and oh my God, that vendor really wowed you, and yes, you have said I am definitely using this vendor on my birthday. So yes, again, those options are completely up to you, which one you want to take, which one you would like. About planning, which is the first one is creating your guest list. The second one is setting up your budget. Third one is deciding whether you're having a civil or religious wedding. Now you need to book that venue. You need to now start searching on your vendors. They're very important. That is 18 months before your big day. Then 12 months to your big day, your bridal party. You need to give them notice, let them know you would love for them to be there for you on your big day. Then you need to send out save the dates to your guests. That's 12 months before. Save the date. Then you need to book your wedding transport. Now book your vendors. Vendors, I keep nailing on it. They're everything to do with your big day. Book your vendors, start your outfit shopping, your bridal party shopping, your hair and makeup artist. 12 months. I don't intend to be talking too long, as it probably wouldn't make too much sense when a video is too long. So on this vlog, we're going to try to do it in different segments, and that way this video is for this and that video is for that. So again, I remain your girl Bimpe Odubisi, and see you next time. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Take care. Bye.